Is the Pac-12 too far gone to make the playoffs immediately? I'm talking about this year, now that Larry Scott will no longer be their commissioner. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do videos every single day, sometimes college football, sometimes college basketball, and the best way to support this channel is hit the subscribe button. The Pac-12 will have a new commissioner going into the 2021 season. We're not sure who's it going to be yet, but we do know that Larry Scott will no longer be their commissioner. His tenure will run out in June. He's been the commissioner of the Pac-12 for 11 years, and not a very good one. Since the Pac-12 has expanded to 12 teams, they've become the poorest Power 5 conference in the nation. Some of the schools are actually in debt, and they actually have the fewest playoff appearances of the college football playoffs, in spite of having 12 teams. The Big 12 has less teams, and they've made more appearances. I know, one team, Oklahoma, but still, that's more success than the Pac-12. But I believe the final nail in the coffin was this past year, the 2020 season, when he joined Kevin Warren in announcing that the Pac-12 will be canceling their 2020 football season. The Big Ten had already done it, the Pac-12 was joining them. I think they were hoping that the rest of the Power 5 conferences would cancel their schedule as well. Well, we already know that didn't happen. The Big Ten, they changed their mind first, announcing that they will have a 2020 college football season. It'll just be 8 games. The Pac-12 dragged their feet a little bit longer, but eventually announced that they also will have a football season, but only a 6-game season. That pretty much guaranteed that the Pac-12, once again, would miss the playoffs. A very bad decision on the part of Larry Scott. And it's true, the Pac-12 is dead last among Power 5 conferences in playoff appearances. In fact, they only have one playoff appearance more than the independent teams. The SEC and ACC are tied for first place with 8 appearances each. Right behind them is the Big Ten with 5 playoff appearances. And then the Big 12 with 4 playoff appearances. And then there's a 2-game gap between the Big 12 and the Pac-12. The Pac-12 has only made the playoffs 2 times. And on top of that, it's been 4 years since the Pac-12 has made the playoffs. The 2016-2017 season was the last time the Pac-12 made the playoffs. And that was Washington, and they got obliterated by Alabama. So the question remains, how quickly can the Pac-12 get back into the playoffs, especially now that they're going to have a new commissioner? Hopefully they get a good one, because they need something. And if you think about it, the Pac-12, they do have a market all to themselves. They're on the West Coast. They're not really competing with the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. Maybe kind of with the Big 12, but really they have their own market. They even have their own time slot. I know it's usually when everybody's going to bed, Pac-12 at night, 10 o'clock. But on the West Coast, that's all theirs. They're watching football at 7 o'clock in the evening, and it's just Pac-12. I'm not saying that's an advantage, but they could turn it into an advantage. But they haven't been able to capitalize on that. They need to start making money immediately with the Pac-12 network and branding. That's the big thing, branding. I think Oregon has a strong brand. Maybe USC, they have a slightly strong brand. It could be better. It's been better in the past. They need to build that up more. Washington has big capabilities. UCLA, if they could get their act together, they could be a big brand. I think Colorado has potential. Utah, they could be a big brand. But it's not up to me, guys. It's up to the Pac-12. So we'll see if they can make a good decision, first of all, and who they bring in as the Pac-12 commissioner, and see what kind of decisions that person can make, and the decisions each school will make. So we'll see how quickly the Pac-12 can get back into the playoffs and back into national relevancy. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.